Listen up. You're not here because life is going great. You're here because something inside you is screaming that you're capable of more, and you've been ignoring it. You've been playing it safe. You've been hiding. You've been that person who talks about what they're going to do someday while watching everyone else actually do it. That ends right now. You know what separates the people who make it from the people who don't? It's not talent. It's not luck. It's not connections. It's the willingness to become someone they've never been before, to step into a version of themselves that doesn't exist yet. Most people can't do that. Most people are so attached to who they are right now that they'd rather stay miserable than become different. They'd rather keep their comfort than chase their potential. That's not you anymore, because if it was, you wouldn't still be here. You'd have quit already. You'd have found an excuse. You'd have convinced yourself that change is too hard, or that you're not ready, or that you'll start next Monday. But you're still here, and that means something in you is ready to fight. So here's the truth nobody wants to tell you. The person you are right now, that person is exactly why you're not where you want to be. Your current self, with all your current habits and thoughts and behaviors, is perfectly designed to give you the life you have right now. And if you keep being that person, nothing changes. You can read all the books you want. You can watch all the videos you want. You can talk about change until your face turns blue. But until you actually become someone different, you're just spinning your wheels. Becoming someone different isn't about adding new habits to your life. It's about destroying who you currently are and rebuilding from scratch. It's about looking at every single thing you do, every choice you make, every thought you have, and asking, does this belong to the person I'm trying to become? And if the answer is no, you kill it. Right there. No hesitation. No second chances. Gone. You wake up at 7. The new you wakes up at 5. You scroll on your phone for an hour every morning. The new you doesn't touch it until the work is done. You skip workouts when you don't feel like it. The new you shows up especially on those days. You make excuses when things get hard. The new you doesn't speak that language. Every single pattern that got you here needs to be obliterated, because those patterns are the enemy. Those patterns are what's keeping you trapped. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking this sounds extreme. You're thinking maybe you just need to make some small adjustments. Maybe you just need to try a little harder. Maybe you just need to be more consistent with what you're already doing. That's the old you talking. That's the voice of the person who's been failing. Don't listen to it. Small adjustments create small changes. You don't want small changes. You want a complete transformation. And transformation requires you to be someone you've never been before. Think about the life you actually want, not the life you tell people you want. The life you think about at 3 in the morning when you can't sleep. The life you daydream about when you're stuck in traffic or sitting at a job you hate. That life exists, but it doesn't exist for the current you. It exists for a future version of you. A version that's harder, stronger, more disciplined, more focused, more relentless. That version doesn't exist yet. You have to create them. And the only way to create them is to kill who you are right now. This isn't motivational. This is survival. Because staying who you are right now is slow death. It's watching years pass by while you stay the same. It's looking in the mirror at 40 or 50 or 60 and realizing you never became who you were capable of becoming. It's dying with your potential still inside you. That's the real tragedy. Not that you failed, that you never really tried, that you spent your whole life being a weaker version of what you could have been. You think you're protecting yourself by staying comfortable, by not pushing too hard, by keeping things balanced. You're not protecting yourself. You're sabotaging yourself. You're choosing a slow, comfortable decline over a hard, uncomfortable climb. And at the end of your life, that comfort isn't going to mean anything. You're not going to look back and be grateful that you took it easy. You're going to look back and wish you had given everything. So give everything. Not tomorrow, not next week, right now, this moment. Stop reading and actually do something. Go work out until your legs shake. Go work on that project you've been avoiding. Go make that phone call you're scared to make. Do something that the old you would never do. Prove to yourself that you're not that person anymore. Prove that when you say you're going to change, you actually mean it. Because here's what most people do. They get fired up. They get motivated. They make all these plans about how they're going to change their life. And then they wake up the next morning and do the exact same things they've always done. They hit snooze. They waste the morning. They make excuses. They tell themselves they'll really start tomorrow. And tomorrow never comes. They live their entire life in that cycle. Getting motivated, making plans, doing nothing, feeling guilty, getting motivated again, round and round, year after year, until one day they realize they're out of time. Don't be that person. Be the person who actually does it. Be the person who says they're going to change and then changes. Be the person who draws a line and never crosses back. Be the person who commits fully, completely, with everything they have. Because that's the only way this works. Half commitment gets half results, and half results aren't going to cut it. You either go all in, or you don't go at all. Going all in means your life looks different starting today. Your morning routine changes. Your evening routine changes. The way you spend your free time changes. The people you spend time with changes. The content you consume changes. The conversations you have change. Everything shifts because you're not trying to improve your life. You're trying to build a completely new one. And you can't build something new using old materials. Your old friends who want to party every weekend? Gone. Your old habit of watching TV for 3 hours every night? Gone. Your old pattern of starting things and not finishing them? Gone. Your old excuse about not having enough time? Gone. All of it needs to be eliminated. Not reduced, not managed, eliminated, because the new you doesn't have room for any of that. The new you is too focused, too driven, too committed to the mission, and yeah, people are going to have a problem with this. They're going to say you've changed. They're going to say you're no fun anymore. They're going to say you're taking things too seriously. Good. You have changed. You're not supposed to be fun. You're supposed to be focused. And you are taking things seriously because your life is serious. Your potential is serious. Your dreams are serious. Anyone who can't understand that doesn't deserve to be in your circle. The new you doesn't explain yourself to people who aren't on the same path. You don't justify your decisions. You don't defend your choices. You don't try to make people understand why you're up at 5 in the morning while they're still sleeping. They won't get it. They can't get it. Because they're not trying to be great. They're trying to be comfortable. And comfortable people never understand hungry people. Stay hungry. Stay uncomfortable. Stay in that space where you're constantly pushing beyond what you think you can handle. Because that's where growth happens. Not in your comfort zone. Not in that safe space where everything feels manageable. In the chaos. In the struggle. In those moments where you're not sure you can keep going, but you keep going anyway. That's where you find out what you're actually made of. You're made of more than you think. You're capable of more than you've shown. You can handle more pain, more pressure, more work than you've ever asked yourself to handle. But you'll never know that if you keep playing it safe. You'll never discover your real capacity if you keep setting limits on yourself. The limits you think you have aren't real. They're just stories you've been telling yourself for so long that you started believing them. Break those stories. Shatter those limits. Go so far past what you think you're capable of that you can't even recognize yourself anymore. Run until you can't feel your legs. Work until your eyes burn. Study until your brain hurts. Push until you break through every ceiling you've put on yourself. Because on the other side of that breaking point is a version of you that's unstoppable. But you have to be willing to break first. You have to be willing to destroy the comfortable, safe version of yourself, the version that knows exactly what to expect, the version that has everything figured out, the version that never risks anything because they're too scared to fail. That version needs to die. Not metaphorically, actually die. You need to kill it so completely that it can never come back. How do you do that? You make decisions that old version would never make. You take risks they would avoid. You have conversations they would run from. You put yourself in situations where you have no choice but to be different. You sign up for things before you feel ready. You commit to goals that scare you. You burn the boats, so there's no option to go back. You make it impossible to be who you used to be. And when things get hard, when you want to quit, when every part of you is screaming to go back to the old way, you don't listen. You keep moving. You keep pushing. You keep showing up. Because the person you're becoming doesn't quit. The person you're becoming doesn't look for easy. The person you're becoming was forged in the fire of moments like this. Moments where it would be so much easier to give up. Moments where no one would blame you for stopping. Moments where the pain of continuing seems greater than the pain of quitting. Those are the moments that matter. Those are the moments where you find out if you're serious or if you're just playing. Everyone can work hard when they feel good. Everyone can push when they're motivated. Everyone can show up when things are going well. The real test is what you do when everything hurts. When you're exhausted, when you've got nothing left. Do you quit or do you find a way to keep going? The answer to that question determines everything. It determines whether you're actually transforming or just pretending. It determines whether you're building something real or just putting on a show. It determines whether the old you is actually dead or just sleeping. Because the old you will try to come back in moments of weakness, in moments of doubt. In moments when you're tired and scared and wondering if all this effort is worth it, the old you will whisper that it's okay to stop, that you've done enough, that you can try again later. Don't believe it. It's a trap. The moment you stop is the moment you lose everything you've built. All the early mornings, all the late nights, all the sacrifices, all the work, gone. Because transformation isn't something you do for a while and then stop. It's something you become, and you become it by never, ever going back to who you were. You want to know the secret? There is no secret. There's just work, brutal, relentless, daily work, work that never ends, work that doesn't care about your feelings, work that doesn't take breaks, work that demands everything you have and then asks for more. That's the price, and most people aren't willing to pay it. They want the results without the cost. They want the transformation without the pain. They want to become someone different without actually having to be different. You're not most people. You're here because something in you knows you're meant for more. Something in you refuses to settle. Something in you would rather die trying than live wondering what if. That's the fuel. That's what's going to carry you through when everything else fails. That voice inside you that knows you're capable of greatness. Listen to it. Trust it. Follow it even when it leads you into darkness. The darkness is where you grow. The darkness is where you build strength. The darkness is where you become someone you never thought you could be. Everyone else is looking for the light, looking for the easy path, looking for comfort and safety and certainty. You're different. You're not looking for light. You're looking for the fire that burns away everything weak, everything soft, everything that doesn't serve the person you're becoming. Step into that fire. Let it burn. Let it hurt. Let it destroy every part of you that isn't strong enough to survive. Because what comes out the other side isn't you anymore. It's someone better, someone harder, someone who's been tested and proven. Someone who knows that they can handle anything because they've already survived the worst thing possible. They survived killing who they used to be. That's the real battle. Not against the world, not against circumstances, not against other people, against yourself, the version of you that wants to quit, the version that wants to give up, the version that wants to go back to easy. That version is your real enemy, and every single day is a war against that enemy. You either win or you lose. You either move forward or you fall back. There's no middle ground. So win, every single day. Win the morning by getting up when you said you would. Win the workout by pushing past when it hurts. Win the work session by focusing when you want to be distracted. Win the evening by going to bed on time instead of wasting hours. String together enough wins and you become unstoppable. String together enough wins and you look back and realize you're not even the same person anymore. That's the goal. To look in the mirror 6 months from now and not recognize yourself. To have people from your old life see you and be shocked by the change. To become so different that there's no question whether the transformation was real. It's undeniable. It's obvious. It's permanent. But it only happens if you start. If you stop reading and start doing. If you stop planning and start executing. If you stop being who you were and start becoming who you need to be. That decision happens now. Not later. Now. Right this second. You either commit fully or you walk away. You either go all in or you stay exactly where you are. What's it going to be? Are you going to be another person who talks about change but never changes? Another person who gets fired up for a day and then goes back to normal? Another person who dies with their potential still locked inside them? Or are you going to be someone who actually does it? Someone who transforms completely? Someone who looks back on this moment as the day everything changed? The choice is yours. Make it count. Because here's what nobody tells you about transformation. It's not a one-time decision. It's a decision you make every single hour of every single day. You wake up and decide. You face a challenge and decide. You get tired and decide. You get discouraged and decide. Every moment is a choice between who you were and who you're becoming. And the person who wins is the person you choose most often. Most people choose the old version. They choose it when they hit snooze. They choose it when they skip the workout. They choose it when they eat the junk food. They choose it when they watch another episode instead of working on their goals. They choose it 100 times a day and then wonder why nothing changes. You can't choose the old you 99 times and the new you once and expect transformation. It doesn't work like that. You have to choose the new you more than you choose the old you. Way more. Like 99 to 1 in favor of the new you. That's when things start to shift. That's when the momentum builds. That's when you start to actually become someone different instead of just thinking about it. And yeah, that's exhausting. Yeah, that requires constant awareness. Yeah, that means you can never coast. Welcome to greatness. This is what it costs. Everyone wants to be great until they find out what great people actually do. They work when everyone else is sleeping. They train when everyone else is partying. They study when everyone else is relaxing. They sacrifice when everyone else is indulging. They push when everyone else quits. And they do it not for a week or a month or a year. They do it for decades. They do it until it's not even a choice anymore. Until it's just who they are. That's what you're aiming for. Not to be someone who works hard sometimes. To be someone who can't operate any other way. Someone who feels wrong when they're not pushing. Someone who gets uncomfortable with comfort. Someone who's addicted to progress the way most people are addicted to distraction. That's the transformation. Not changing what you do. Changing who you are at the core level. And to do that, you need to get brutally honest with yourself. Not the version of honesty where you acknowledge you have problems but then make excuses for them. Real honesty. The kind that makes you uncomfortable. The kind where you look at your life and admit that most of your problems are self-created. That you're not a victim. That you're exactly where you chose to be through thousands of small decisions. That's hard to accept. It's easier to blame circumstances. To blame other people. To blame bad luck or bad timing or bad genetics. But blame doesn't change anything. Blame keeps you stuck. Blame gives your power away to things you can't control. The moment you accept that you created this, you realize you can create something different, but you have to own it first. All of it. The good and the bad, the successes and the failures, the progress and the setbacks. You own the fact that you've been wasting time. You own the fact that you haven't been giving your best. You own the fact that you've been scared. You own the fact that you've been making excuses. You own all of it, and then you use that ownership as fuel, because when you stop blaming and start owning, you take your power back. You realize that if you created this mess, you can create something better. You're not helpless. You're not stuck. You're just making poor choices, and choices can be changed. So change them, right now, today. This moment, make a different choice. Make the hard choice. Make the choice that scares you. Make the choice that the old you would never make. And then make another one, and another one. String together enough hard choices, and you'll look up one day and realize you're living a completely different life. A life you chose. A life you built. A life that reflects who you decided to become instead of who you used to be. But you can't wait for it to feel right. You can't wait for the perfect moment. You can't wait until you're ready, because you'll never feel ready. Ready is a myth. Ready is what people who are scared tell themselves so they don't have to take action. You're as ready right now as you'll ever be. You have everything you need. You know what needs to be done. The only thing missing is the decision to actually do it. Make that decision. Commit to it fully. Don't leave yourself an exit. Don't give yourself a way out. Burn the bridges. Cut off the retreat. Make it impossible to go back to who you were. Because the moment you leave yourself an option to quit, you will. When things get hard, when you're tired, when you're scared, you'll take that exit. You'll go back to comfortable. You'll go back to safe. You'll go back to the old you. Don't give yourself that option. Make this transformation the only path forward. Tell people about your goals so you have accountability. Invest money you can't afford to lose so you have skin in the game. Create consequences for failure so the cost of quitting is higher than the cost of continuing. Stack the deck in favor of the new you. Make it harder to stay the same than it is to change. And when you feel like quitting, when every part of you wants to stop, remember why you started. Remember the life you're trying to build. Remember the person you're trying to become. Remember that the old you got you nowhere. Remember that playing it safe left you miserable. Remember that comfortable equals stuck. Remember that you have one life and you're wasting it being less than you're capable of being. That should make you angry. That should light a fire inside you that can't be put out. The fact that you've been settling. The fact that you've been playing small. The fact that you've been letting fear run your life. That should piss you off enough to do something about it. Not tomorrow. Not next week, right now. Get up and do something. Anything. Just move. Just act. Just prove to yourself that you're serious this time. Because here's the thing about transformation. It's not complicated. It's just hard. The steps are simple. Wake up early. Work out. Eat right. Do the work. Stay focused. Be consistent. Cut out distractions. Set goals, track progress, adjust when needed, repeat every single day. That's it. That's the whole formula. Anyone can understand it. But most people can't execute it, because execution requires becoming someone different, someone harder, someone who doesn't negotiate with themselves, someone who does what needs to be done regardless of how they feel. That's the person you need to become. Not someone who works hard when they feel motivated. Someone who works hard especially when they don't. Not someone who pushes when things are going well. Someone who pushes when everything is falling apart. Not someone who's disciplined sometimes. Someone who's disciplined always. No exceptions. No excuses. No days off from being that person. Because the moment you make an exception, you open the door for more exceptions. You skip one workout and suddenly it's easier to skip the next one. You sleep in one morning and suddenly the alarm doesn't mean what it used to. You make one excuse and suddenly excuses become your default language. You can't give yourself any slack. You can't cut yourself any breaks. The standards have to be absolute, non-negotiable, written in stone. And yeah, that sounds extreme. Yeah, that sounds like too much. Good, because extreme is what's required. Extreme commitment, extreme discipline, extreme focus, extreme work ethic. You're trying to do something most people never do. You're trying to completely transform who you are. That's not a normal goal. That's not something you achieve with a normal approach. You need to go to extremes. You need to do things that regular people would call crazy. You need to operate at a level that doesn't make sense to anyone who isn't trying to be great. Let them call you crazy. Let them say you're doing too much. Let them think you've lost your mind. They're not wrong. You have lost your mind. You've lost the mindset that kept you stuck. You've lost the thoughts that held you back. You've lost the beliefs that limited you. And in place of that old mind, you're building a new one. A mind that doesn't know limits. A mind that doesn't accept excuses. A mind that sees obstacles as opportunities. A mind that gets stronger with every challenge. That's the mind of someone who's killed who they used to be. Someone who's burned their old identity to the ground and built something better from the ashes. Someone who looks at their past self and doesn't recognize that person anymore. That's where you're headed. That's who you're becoming. But you have to choose it. Every day, every hour, every moment. You have to choose to be that person over and over until it's not a choice anymore. Until it's just who you are. And when you get there, when you've truly transformed, when you look back and can't believe you ever lived any other way, you'll understand that killing who you used to be was the best thing you ever did. Because that person was holding you back. That person was keeping you small. That person was standing between you and everything you're capable of. And now they're gone. And you're free. Free to be who you were always meant to be. Free to achieve what you were always capable of achieving. Free to live the life you were always supposed to live. That freedom doesn't come from external circumstances. It comes from internal transformation. From becoming someone who doesn't need permission, doesn't need approval, doesn't need perfect conditions. Someone who makes it happen regardless. Someone who finds a way. Someone who doesn't know how to quit. That's freedom. That's power. That's what you get when you kill who you used to be and become who you need to be. So stop waiting. Stop planning. Stop thinking about it. The time is now. The moment is here. You have everything you need to start. You know what needs to be done. The only question is, will you do it? Will you actually become someone different? Will you actually kill who you used to be? Or will you read this, get fired up for a minute, and then go back to being the same person you've always been? The choice is yours, but choose quickly, because every day you stay the same is a day you'll never get back. Every day you don't transform is a day wasted. Every day you spend being who you used to be is a day stolen from who you could become. Stop stealing from your future self. Stop betraying your potential. Stop being less than you're capable of being. Kill who you used to be. Do it now. Do it completely. Do it so thoroughly that there's no going back. And then become the person you were always meant to be. The person who doesn't settle. The person who doesn't quit. The person who does whatever it takes. That person is waiting. That person is ready. That person is watching to see if you're serious. Show them you are. Show them by taking action right now. Show them by becoming different, starting this moment. The old you is dead. Long live the new you.